Hello my chemical consumers and chemical enjoyers. Minecraft is a game that really needs no introduction, being the best-selling video game for almost over a decade. But through a recent multitude of controversies and alleged terrible updates, is it even worth playing anymore? Well, that's the very question we'll be answering in today's video. So if you enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe and leave a comment. But anyway, to answer this, we need to take a look at the game's... So, it's the 18th of November 2011. And this is Minecraft, a highly anticipated indie game that has just been fully released after being an alpha and beta for PC for the last 2 years, and it was made by this very bald Swedish man called Notch, also known as Marcus Persson, and it's successful. In fact, so successful that it sold nearly 15 million copies of just 1 year of it being released. But what is Minecraft? Well, it's an open world survival sandbox game, the same as games like Subnautica, The Forest, and even Rust. But what makes Minecraft different and so much more successful than these other great games? Well, that would be the endlessness that Minecraft offers, allowing you to build whatever you want, wherever you want, and explore a seemingly never-ending world. And with each world being randomly generated, it keeps exploration fresh each time. And on top of this, with multiple dimensions to explore and systems to master, it was an amazing concept, and it's a near-perfect game. It was simple, and approachable for all ages. And on top of this, Mojang would continue to consistently add more and more to the game, like the Pretty Scary update that added a whole new list of mobs including a new boss. Plus it also added command blocks, which I still don't understand. It also added other updates like the village trading update, which added scamming. These updates are what kept people coming back and playing it, as it offered something that most games at the time really didn't: a constant supply of creative and interesting new things to do. However, it was these very updates that have been the cause of so much drama within recent years. However, it's also what led to the game's... As the years went on, Minecraft's player base only grew and grew, which was, and still is, strange. You see, in the space of games, most typically have a year or two in the spotlight, and then slowly fade out of relevance. Now, these games will still have a player base, but just a way smaller one than when they started, which is only natural for games. For example, Helldivers 2, a game that released just this year, has slowly decreased its player base over the last half a year, going from 450,000 at launch to just under 50,000 last month, which is still a lot of players. But Minecraft has done seemingly the exact opposite, only gaining more and more of a player base. I mean, as I'm writing this, within the last hour, there has been 1.1 million players, and within the last month, there's been just over 182 million players. But how? Well, this is due to a couple of reasons. Number one, YouTubers. Yeah, good old YouTubers were a massive reason for the influx of new players to the game. Minecraft YouTubers also helped popularize the favourite pastime of a lot of YouTubers these days, that being DMing minors. I mean, just about every YouTuber at one point seemed to have played Minecraft, some making whole careers out of it, making videos that would go on to be viewed by millions. These videos would also help give players new ideas of what to do, like using mods, which are the second reason for the game's incredible success, as they added a seemingly never-ending amount of content to play from, going from adding stuff like Pokemon to guns to mods are a massive reason that Minecraft has managed to stay so popular, as every time there's a new trend, there is a mod to go with it. And for the third and final reason, there is Mojang, who continued to produce excellent and quality updates, doing something that most companies didn't do then and don't really do now, actually listening to their player base, adding stuff like whole new biomes, mobs, and items. Well, this was up to about 2014, as this is the time where the game was sold and bought out by Microsoft, which many believe led to the game's... And I say downfall here in quotation marks because the game has technically never had a downfall in sales. Like, it's always continued to gain more and more each year. But when I say downfall, I more mean in terms of quality, at least in my eyes, as the next major update to come out after Microsoft purchased the game was the combat update, which not only took over a year and a half to come out, it is also considered by many people to be the most controversial update to the game, making drastic changes to, well, the combat system, turning what was a spam-clicking fast-paced combo style of combat into a timed combat with a focus on attacking slower, which granted, some loved, but many hated. On top of this, the same year they also released the Exploration update, which, to its credit, I enjoyed. However, they also released the Frostbite update, which didn't actually add a Frostbite mechanic, which would have been really useful, but instead added the most fucking annoying mob to ever grace the planet, and also polar bears. But with this string of pretty lackluster updates, people seem to be moving away from the game. Hell, even YouTubers who had built their whole career on this game moved to other projects, like Fortnite. Overall, people just seem to stop talking about Minecraft. But then, when we needed him most, in 2019, PewDiePie decided to pick up the game and make his own series. And through this, everyone started talking about the game again. Which leads us to the present day. So, what is Minecraft's? So Minecraft has a couple of major problems, and one of which is what made the game so popular to begin with, that being its updates, which at one point in time we would get a couple major updates a year. So if one ended up being lackluster or just flat out bad, like the Frostbite update, there was always another one to fall back on. However, in recent times, we seem to be only getting one update every year. So if it's bad, it's really, really bad. Like the infamous 1.20 Trials and Tales update, which was just shit, for lack of a better word. It felt like it was filled with the most pointless stuff ever that didn't really affect the game in any way, which seems to be a trend with recent updates, as they just don't add enough, and the stuff that they do add is kinda lackluster. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool to play with on the first day and go into creative and, you know, mess around with all the new blocks and stuff and new mobs, but after that it becomes kinda pointless, much like the mobs, or more importantly the mob vote, which is exactly what it sounds like, a vote that gives you, the player, a chance to choose a mob to get added into Minecraft. A good idea in theory, but where there's a vote, there's a fight, and that's just what happened. Every time a mob vote would end up rolling around, the whole Minecraft community seemed to just turn on each other, and this is partially due to Mojang's own incompetence to realise that dangling 3 features that people have been asking for since the start of the game over players' heads and only allowing us to choose one of them while we lose the other 2 permanently doesn't really sound very fun or fair to most people. This all came together just last year when another mob vote came around, and no joke, people started making World War II style propaganda against Mojang and Microsoft to stop the vote, as all it does is serve as a way to piss everyone off. It seems like over the years, Mojang begins to just listen less and less to what players want, but that's also part of the problem. Not just Mojang, but the players. As much as it hurts to admit it, a lot of players are the problem with Minecraft. As the player base of Minecraft increases, Mojang find it harder and harder to actually decide what to put in the game, as no matter what they do, it seems like it'll make someone unhappy. It seems to just spawn more and more toxic communities into Minecraft, which only serves as a way of pulling the game down more and more. With all that said, I see a bright future ahead of Minecraft. With the latest update dropping not long ago, I have to say it's decent. Definitely not their best, but a step in the right direction, adding a cool new structure, a new weapon, music, wolf armor, and even more. But like I said, it's definitely not the best. However, I can see Minecraft making a comeback, but how? I might just be a silly goober on YouTube, but you've made it this far, so you clearly must like something I'm saying. So what can Mojang do? Well, in my eyes, and clearly the eyes of others, they need to focus on their original ideas and, well, update them. As for me personally, the game just feels very bloated at the moment, and feels like we're getting a lot of updates that just don't really seem to add much other than just a couple of items and maybe a new mob to play with. I believe that the Wild update is a good example of what Mojang should be striving for, and as much as the update was controversial with us missing a couple of features, it added something that the game needed: a whole new biome and a new area to explore under the ground. And I believe Mojang should continue to move in that direction, using stuff they already have and changing it and adding to it, such as updating minecarts, a feature that people have been asking for years since the Elytra came out and made them more or less useless, or adding more structures, or hell, the end has been almost untouched since it came out, only getting a slight update during the combat update, and it's been wildly requested by thousands to receive an update, and also adding more variation to biomes that already exist, like plants and mobs. As one thing that Minecraft really seems to lack is a sense of atmosphere while just exploring the world. And it's not like they haven't done this before. For example, what I just talked about, the Deep Dark, has an amazing eerie atmosphere with the Skulk and the ruined structures scattered around. It makes you instantly feel like you're not welcome and not supposed to be there. Or the Nether, which constantly keeps you on your toes and makes you second guess everything around you. However, just exploring the world normally feels very plain. You don't really get a sense of fear or intrigue or adventure after the first couple of times you play the game. The world just really doesn't have much to look at. However, that's just for me personally. I do believe that creative fire that got Mojang where they are has been definitely diminished over the years. However, if the Wild update and the newest update shows anything, it shows that Mojang are still fully competent of making good to great updates. I fully believe that they can get their fire fully back and give Minecraft the updates and love it deserves. As at the end of the day, no one wants to see such a beloved game's downfall. So, the game is great. And while sure it has its problems and isn't perfect, there is no doubt that it is still one of my favourite games and loved by thousands of others. And it deserves it. It is an amazing game that means so much to me and so many other people that I would hate to see anything happen to it. So yes, it is good, it is still fun, it's not boring, and it does deserve your time. Speaking of, thank you for giving me your time and watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you think I've earned it, and drop a comment telling me what you think of Minecraft's current state. I've been Yummy Chemicals, and thank you all for watching.